Thanks for joining me and welcome to London.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How are you finding it so far in London?
Lovely.
It is. It's delightful. I would turn the heat down just a touch.
Yeah, I turn the heat down and maybe install air conditioning in more places.
We don't know what air conditioning
We're
is.
so
in the UK.
spoiled.
Really
We're
don't.
such
We
little
really
spoiled.
don't. And then people will be like, we have air cooling. And you're sort of like, but it's not air conditioning. Why are you using different language? I feel semantically that you're trapping me in something. And sure enough, they are.
It just feels like someone going to cool you off.
Over a glass of ice.
Sorry, we should say about blowing to cool you off. Let's not go down
No,
that route
no.
yet. It's too early in the episode
Too
for that.
early.
But yeah, you've definitely brought the heat with you. So hit machine, what we're calling it, heat machine or hot machine? That's what we're going to call it. And that is the level we're going to start with this podcast.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Guys, if I haven't made you groan by the end of it, I've not done my job. So it's your first time on stage in London. Have either of you done any work here in the past?
I was here years ago with a film that was at Sundance that I wrote and directed called Liberal Arts, and it was their first time, I think, doing Sundance London. I don't know if they still do it, but they brought my film here, and I was here for about a week or two with the movie, and it was a great experience, but it was a while. I've been to London in between, but that was the last time a work-related thing brought me here. Yeah.
And I've never been on stage here or worked here, and I've been desperate to my whole career. And the stars aligned, and here we are.
I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a second. So you're here because you're sharing a stage together in Hit Machine. Have your paths ever crossed before?
Just once.
Just once.
We did a reading at the Public a while back of the Larry Kramer play The Normal Heart. Noah told me where to get a good pair of pants on the Bowery.
Yeah, so
And
I made a good impression.
I promptly went there and got a great pair of pants, and I have loved him ever since.
I mean, that's a great story. Did you ever suspect you'd be working together on stage in London?
I wanted to work with Josh for a long time.
Uh-huh.
Didn't necessarily think it would be on stage or in London. So this feels like a ticking of boxes I didn't even know were, reachable.
I think people who aren't in the business don't understand how the cross-pollination happens of you meet someone and you might even meet them socially and then you get cast in something 2 weeks later together and you're like, we just talked at this party. There's all these weird confluence of events and it feels like some unseen hand is guiding things. So it didn't surprise me that after meeting at that reading and I was so impressed with him as an actor that we ended up doing this together.
I mean, I know from working with a lot of people in the West End that there's a lot of that over here where someone will say, oh, I've just been cast in this. It's like, I've just been cast in this. And they have no idea they're working together. Or they haven't told each other and they turn up at first day and they might be best friends and have kept it from each other.
Yeah.
So
it's always I always like the world to feel smaller, and this business makes the world feel quite small.
It makes it feel, at times too small.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's theatre. We're all going to bump it. There's 2 degrees of separation here.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's talk about the show Hit Machine. So what is it and who do you each play?
What is it, Josh?
What is it? Well, we're kind of crowdsourcing an answer to that question,
Yeah,
right?
we have slowly but surely.
Hit Machine is about 2 brothers who grew up in a house that was pretty traumatic. They had a traumatic childhood, and they each developed different coping strategies and masks to wear in the world to carry on. My character Wes became a fantastically successful music producer. He runs a label. He mentors and develops artists. He's been wildly successful. He's just bought this kind of ridiculously enormous house. Noah plays Alex, my younger brother, who is a not very successful but very talented musician who's very suspicious of the mainstream and Wes's success. And he comes there for 2 fateful days when a lot of old wounds resurface and music is made.
Beautiful.
So what was it about this show that made you both want to star in it?
I think this play is a very sort of pure and honest exploration of a sibling dynamic that I think we all can feel connected to in some capacity, It's also just an opportunity personally for me to play a character I've never played before and a character that I think I can tap into and know. but haven't been given the opportunity to play. And so, yeah, that's why I wanted to do it. And perform in London, hell yeah.
I think we're each getting to shift into different gears as an actor than we're normally asked to be in.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting, especially both of us like trying on new things and finding new things within ourselves that have been like untapped or been lying dormant. But also I love doing world premieres. I like the Samuel French thing, being the original cast on the front, that first page. It's so exciting. I have a strong memory of being in college and grad school and reading those in like Shakespeare and Company and being like, maybe one day I'll be on one of those pages. So there's just something great about being in a room with a living playwright, working on a play together. Your fingerprints and the DNA of the original cast is all over there, even though the writer's the writer. I just love being able to kind of influence things in a hopefully positive manner. But there's just something so much fun about watching, in this play you get to watch us create music, but we've been up close and helping John and watching John create this play and refine this play. So it's, for people who love process, it's just been the best.
So I find it very interesting when you've got a play with music. So what is it, you're playing the music? Are you going to be singing in this play?
Well, you'll have to come see.
Well, you'll have to come and
No
see.
spoilers here.
No spoilers.
Are there any similarities between your characters, or are you to find your worlds apart?
I think there are a lot of similarities, more than they'd like to admit.
Oh, you mean between our two characters,
I mean
or between
Between
Noah
you and the character
Alex?
you're playing.
Oh, I
Right,
see.
yeah.
I'd honestly say the same thing. More than I'd like to admit. Honestly, I think if there are qualities of these characters that I think we would exhibit as people if we were like any less healthy.
Yeah.
Or had gone to less therapy, or had maybe had slightly more trauma. Like, there's a world in which I turned into that guy,
Yeah.
But I didn't.
I think they're stuck in ways that we're not quite stuck as, but like Noah said, like we could be. But it's also, it's really fun to play, like, I don't think you can play a character if there's not something of you in that character.
Yeah.
So I will say that there is something of Wes, this character, that lives in me, but he allows me to access parts of myself, and actually it's almost like behaving badly in a safe container.
Yeah.
There's something really fun about that. It just feels like you can almost like unleash your id a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you find the right dynamic when it comes to working together, particularly in a show about estranged brothers, which may not be the closest of dynamics?
I think what's interesting about these brothers in particular is that they were really close at one point in their lives, and I think at like maybe the most formative time in their lives, they were like a unit, and they have grown apart. There's a whole country of space between them and the lives they've chosen to live. But at the core of it, I mean, like, their trauma is the same. The place they come from, the like earth that they were grown out of is exactly the same. And what's interesting is the ways in which they have differentiated from each other.
Yeah, I sometimes feel like if a play is well written, and this play is really well written, you just kind of have to like map it together, and it'll do a lot of work for you. Like Noah and I didn't have to like, let's spend a weekend together and recreate that childhood. Like, we didn't need to do that. Yeah. We just follow the roadmap that John laid out, and you try to just get really honest about each moment and know why A leads to B leads to C. Mm-hmm. And when you do that, a brotherhood or brotherliness starts to emerge. Like, I felt the first reading we did after we were formally cast, but we did a reading, I just felt like, obviously all the choices weren't solidified, and they're still not solidified, but I felt like this spirit of familial ease and that it was fun to kind of get in, like lock horns with each other. That all was there from the beginning.
Yeah, there's this idea of like getting into the room. I mean, I feel this way about pretty much like any piece of anything I've ever done, but like forced intimacy forces intimacy. You like have no choice but to jump in feet first with these people, and that's sort of like the given of doing theater. Is like we're all in this space and we're gonna fall on our faces and we're gonna look a fool, we're gonna make wrong choices, but there's the trust and safety net of people that you like maybe met yesterday, but you're going all in, you know, because it's the only way to do the thing, and it's the only way to, you know, create that intimacy on stage.
Did you get to that part in the Mike Nichols biography about Jack Nicholson?
No.
Jack Nicholson, like before he would shoot, like first day of filming, he would do this insane, stupid dance in front of the crew. Because he would go, okay, it's not going to get more humiliating than that.
Yeah.
Like he would embarrass himself up front so that he could then be free, because he wasn't worried about looking silly. And I feel like you just, I don't know, like I like actors because we're just, it's a ridiculous thing we do. Like it's totally, it's a bit ridiculous what we do. And I like the feeling of like, we can try things and fail and it's all cool here, you know?
Yeah.
No, I've got to talk about the fact that you and your husband, Ben Platt, for anyone that doesn't know, you're both performing in London at the same time. So how did that come about? Did you both decide to do theatre here, or did one of you get the offer first?
No, I mean, Ben's show had been planned for like a year, and my plan was always to just come here, you know, cook him some meals, go to Berlin, you know, pop around, and then this play sort of fell into my lap. My sister shares a nanny with John, the playwright, and I had met him a few times, and my sister was the one who texted me and was like, an actor dropped out of John's reading, are you free tomorrow morning? And I was like, okay. And I did the reading of this play like completely cold, had not touched it or opened it or looked at it, and I finished it and sort of looked to John and was like, I have to do this play, I love this play. And he was like, I love you in it. And I was like, what's your plan? And he was like, we're going to London. And I was like, pack my bags. So it really was just the stars aligning in like a really beautiful way, but I feel so fucking lucky. We honestly, Ben and I have never really performed at the same time, and so we've always been like caretaker as somebody is doing something intense performance-wise. And so this will be our first time getting to be each other's sort of supports and getting to come home together at the end of the day of performing and feeling raw. I think will feel so nice.
So sweet.
Yeah.
I like it, yeah.
I mean, with the shows on at the same time, have you worked out when you're going to get to see each other on stage?
Yes, what's nice and annoying is that we have different days off. So we will see each other's shows, but we won't get to lounge in the Heath.
Fair enough. I read something recently about you having to fight Rachel Zegler over him. What was that about?
I mean, they just, you know, they created such an impenetrable bond together in the last 5 years.
You say that, they did divorce.
Well, you know,
Spoilers.
in order to go through the beginning, middle, and end of a fucked up marriage every night, once again, it really instills a closeness, you know.
Were you in London for that as well? With
yeah, I came for at least the performances, but Rachel is absolutely divine. Her voice is maybe one of the best we have. As is my husband's.
I mean, they're both great. I mean, that and the Palladium as well. Weird, I'm going there straight after this. But, you know, there was last year you had Rachel on the balcony at Evita.
That's right.
It's just, I mean, together, I mean, we don't know what Ben's going to do now. In his play, the Menier,
yeah,
they don't have a balcony at the Menier, that's the problem. It's very like one level. But no, that was great. I mean, Ben and Rachel in the last 5 years was special.
It was divine, yeah. They have a chemistry that was deeply threatening to me. I'm kidding.
But let's not ignore Josh anymore. So,
yeah!
Sorry.
It's fine.
More about Ben Platt? I've got to mention How I Met Your Mother. So that
You don't have to. But you
I'm
did.
going to.
You're going to. Go ahead.
You
Go
want
ahead.
to and you will.
I mean, that show was a beast. So what was it like to lead such a huge sitcom for so many years?
I don't know. I mean, I think I'm only now, a decade out or even longer, kind of figuring out what that was and what I have a deep fondness for the show now. I'm rewatching it. I'm doing a rewatch podcast with Craig Thomas, one of the co-creators, and my wife has never seen the show, so I'm rewatching it, and I haven't seen it since it was on, and I didn't even see all the episodes. I had a very complicated relationship with watching myself on that show. But I'm really delighted that I was a part of something that was so sharp and so funny and so endlessly inventive in different ways to tell a story, and also that has continued to find new fans and new fans over the years. I think people who grew up watching it now have kids, and they're introducing it to their kids, and so this whole new generation of fans are being, kind of initiated into the show. So it feels like, I used to want to kind of run away from it, and now I just am trying to really more integrate it and say, like, this is a huge part of my life, and I even have a different understanding of why people love it so much, and it's weird. I can actually be with them and they say, I'm such a fan of How I Met Your Mother, and I can now go, yeah, me too. I love it. I think it's really good.
When you're watching it back, do you remember doing it all, or does it all come?
Yeah, some of it I remember so strongly, like, oh my God, I remember that day, and I remember what was going on, and I remember all these things. In other scenes, you're like, I have zero memory of that scene. Like, that has been erased from my memory. So I got Eternal Sunshine somehow. It's gone. But it's fun to, kind of piece it all together. And there's even bits that, if you ask me, when did Sarah Chalk's character appear in the show? I'd say 5th season, and it was 3rd season. Like, I have no sense of the timeline of when everything happened.
When you get approached by a How I Met Your Mother fan, is there something in particular they will always say to you, and you're like, oh, here we go, it's going to be that tried and tested?
There's various things. People make How I Met jokes because I'm meeting them. So
I apologise for this podcast in advance.
There's a lot of those. Yeah.
Do you think we could ever see a stage version of How I Met Your Mother?
Oh my God,
Wow.
I have no idea.
Interesting.
You would have to write it.
No one wants me to write it.
Oh, okay.
Well, someone funny would be nice.
Oh, okay.
I try and fail. So both of you, do you have a preference working on stage or screen?
There are aspects of both that feel satisfying and challenging in different ways.
Yeah, I prefer the screen paycheck. Do you think? I'm
gonna go ahead and say yes.
Yes. Yeah, but there's nothing like the theater when. The thing with the theater is you're in control of your performance. It's a oneer. It's a one take, and what the audience is seeing is what you're getting. You're not being edited. You're not being.
Yeah.
There's not being spliced. They're not moving around this scene.
But you also get to do it again either later today or tomorrow.
Yeah, and the nice thing about the theater is it disappears. That there's no record of it, so it's like you had to be there.
Unless you're bootlegging.
But there's something nice about is it evanescence? Is that the word? Like, it just kind of goes away. And
ephemerality.
Yeah, the ephemerality of it. I really like that. But I also, if you're a part of something special on film, it lives forever, and there's something really nice about that too.
Yeah, there can be lightning in a bottle there too.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to briefly mention as well, Noah, your own sitcom. Not as long-lived as How I Met Your Mother, but I loved it. I think that's where I first got to know you.
Thanks.
The Real O'Neills, if anyone hasn't watched it, I would recommend it.
Yeah.
Anything that was LGBT, I was going to check out.
Yeah, I hear
love
you.
that.
Thanks. I loved that show too. It had some incredible actors on it. Martha Plimpton, who played my mom, is one of my favorite stage actors. So getting to work with her in like a sitcom setting was deeply legitimizing and terrifying. But she, brings this like real ass theater. Her first job on stage was, I believe, Grapes of Wrath on Broadway. She was in the ensemble, but she became a Steppenwolf member and got her equity card and made her Broadway debut at the same time. So, she's pretty legit.
I don't know if she still lives in London, so I used to always run into her everywhere.
She pops in and out.
There was a stage where every show I was at, at one point I was actually in her seat. There was a thing where I was, if I'm going to be in someone's seat, it's going to be a celebrity.
Yeah.
And she goes to me, excuse me, I think you're in my seat. It's like, oh shit, it's Martha Plimpton.
That's right.
It just moved.
But I think it was nice for me.
Did it get twice as hot in this room, like in the last
it really
3
did.
minutes? Yeah.
I can't take any credit for that.
Yeah.
But something nice about entering into the world of television for the very first time, my first foray into sitcom television, being on camera really at all, was with a stage veteran like that. It felt right.
I'm just passing you the fan if it's too hot for you guys.
Oh.
Share the love.
Wow,
Do you want to? Feel free
amazing.
to share.
Hell.
You guys are the talent, but you need to be cool. So, the podcast, it might just be the noise of it, but it doesn't, who cares? So,
Yeah.
So while you're both in London, is there anything you're planning to do? Any shows to catch you?
I'm told we have to see 1536. My
I wanna
husband
see
saw
that.
it and cannot stop raving about it.
So good.
I saw Avenue Q the other day, and there's interestingly enough, in America, everybody gets a playbill, and you immediately open it to see the little slip of paper to see if there are any understudies on. And whether we like it or not, as audience member and performer, you have a feeling. It's going to be different when you know that there is an understudy on in that role, in whatever the role may be. But in London, you don't immediately get a playbill, and so you're not immediately given that information. And I just saw Avenue Q, and I saw an understudy on for Kate Monster, and this girl was so on top of shit. I can't remember her name. I'm so mad at myself for not remembering her name. But she is so talented. And I wouldn't even thought that she was the understudy. And then we went backstage, or at intermission, we were told by one of the ushers that she was an understudy, and we all lost our shit. Something I love about like a performer, just watching a performer, is like feeling safe. And like my shoulders will drop if I feel like I'm safe in your hands, and safe in your hands telling this story. And I felt utterly safe in this woman's hands, and it was so impressive. And I was so jazzed at that. And I was like, I'm mad at myself for like even feeling like I would have had some sort of like prove it, you know. But I didn't. There was none of that, and I was able to just like take in her performance. She was wonderful.
What about you, Josh? Any like shows you planning on catching over here? Or
I'd love to see, what is it, 1536, which I can't hold it, but I remember it's 4 digits. I'm going to see it. We have a couple of restaurant racks. We're just trying to find the good parks with the good swings for my son. You know,
For Josh.
my life has changed considerably in the last year.
Josh loves a swing.
It's for me, it's not for my son.
I was going to say you're never too old to go swinging, and
That's
I
right.
heard it in my head, but I still sing. One I'd recommend as well, if you get a chance, is Pride at National Theatre. The most
Oh
sensational
yes, I've seen
show.
the film. I've seen the film. It's such a sweet film.
That's for me is my show of the year. Just
Wow.
when people say I say that about everything, but that is genuinely my show of the year.
Well,
So
you haven't seen Hit Machine,
I haven't.
have you?
I'm going next week. So up until now, it's my show of the year.
That's right.
Although I put plays and musicals in different categories, I don't get people that can mix them together.
Well, what
They're
about a
two
play with music?
That's its own category. You're number one already. So at the time of recording, performances haven't started yet, but how would you say London audiences compare to those in New
We
York?
can't answer that. We literally can't answer that.
I don't know in terms of this play, because a New York nor London audience have seen it, but my experience of London theater, I come here like once or twice a year just to see theater and feel a part of the magic that exists in theater in London. It feels OG, it feels special, it feels magical in some way. That New York has pockets of and moments of, but this is a different ball game, and there's like a reverence for the craft baked into the culture in a way that doesn't exist anywhere else, really. I mean, you have a national theater. It's like magical.
And I've got to ask the question that everyone wants to know. As Americans, how do you feel about the British custom of ice cream in the interval?
Love. Have yourself a sweet treat,
I
baby.
didn't even know about it, but I'm delighted by it.
It's such a staple over here. In the interval, you get an ice cream.
Oh.
But it's not a thing in America. But it's like some people
No.
come over, it's like, why isn't this a thing in America?
I feel like more opportunities to consume ice cream is always
Yeah,
a
it's
good
never
thing.
bad.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, we don't want anybody sort of like, well, what's nice about this place? There's no intermission.
That's right. So sorry, you'll have to get your ice cream
sweet treat at
before
the
or
end,
after.
you
Can you
know?
not throw them out like that Mariah Carey video on TRL where she's just like throwing ice creams at the audience?
Yeah, that's exactly
Can't you just do that 45 minutes in?
The
It's like a
balance.
t-shirt gun, but it's just ice cream.
T-shirt cannon, but it's hot. It's a hot ice cream.
I don't know if they're stay cool. I don't know. They might just be like
Just
so-
milkshake.
It's
You're gonna leave.
I told you there was going to be some random stuff in this. I'm sorry. So, would you? Stupid question, I guess. But would you love to do more shows in the West End following this?
Almost certainly. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
If I never have to go back to America, I wouldn't necessarily be mad about that.
Would you have like any shows you wanted to do over here, or any dream roles? Could be inside the Paddington costume, I don't know.
It's so fun. When I was little, I just saw that Sorkin's production of To Kill a Mockingbird is here right now.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was on. I played Dill when I was little in a production of To Kill a Mockingbird that my mother directed at the community theater when I was like 8 or 9. Would love to reprise that role, so put me in, coach.
But in that version with your mom directing, not Sorkin's.
Yeah.
They're very similar directors.
Yeah, the productions are actually wildly similar.
What about you, Josh?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I love doing new plays, so I don't know if the play I'm going to come back with has been written yet, but I hope it's being worked on.
Yeah, with another actor who can sort of like get it to the place.
Get it to the place it needs to be, and then I'll swoop in and he'll be mad at me. Yeah.
So we're going to come back to Hit Machine. The play asks what it means to create a hit. Has your own definition of success changed as your careers have gone on?
Yes.
Definitely,
Yes.
vastly. I think there's this scene in a chorus line where they talk about like tropes that you feel as young performers, like, okay, like I'm gonna give myself, like at 25 I have to like win a whatever award, and at 30 I want to have done this and this and this and this, and I think you very quickly realize that that's just like not the vibe, that's just not how a career is built or made. And I think it's about sort of like letting go of those reins that I think as young people we like white knuckle and hold on to really tightly, and it's about just like releasing and falling into like whatever the universe has in store for you a little bit, as woo-woo as that may sound. I do kind of believe that.
Yeah, I think that it's when you get what you want. I saw someone wearing a T-shirt that said, "You're living the life you dreamed about." Like you used to. I don't know what it is. It was you know what I'm saying? Like you're living the life you wanted years ago, right now. And the problem is the carrot keeps moving. So you metabolize the success pretty quickly, and then you're like, now what? Like I won that, or I did that.
Yeah.
Now I got to do this, and. We were talking about it earlier, like I play a game like what would my 16-year-old self think, and he'd be pretty psyched about my career, even if me right now is like harumph, like I wish I was doing this. But I think that I just try to remind myself like this is all I ever really wanted to do, and to not compare myself to others, and really just like Noah said, like partner with mystery. I think of it as 50% as my own effort, 50% is some other unseen hand that's got good plans for me, hopefully.
Also, you meet, I think it's very early on in my career, we talked about this earlier, but you meet people who you've always seen as successful and have always put on some sort of pedestal, and you meet them and they're often the most bitter motherfuckers you've ever met in your life. And so that's like, can be crazy making, but also freeing. To be like, okay, if this person doesn't even feel satisfied with the amount of IMDb credits or IBDB credits they have, this must not be like the alchemy for a successful life. You gotta find it elsewhere.
And the last question, very simple: why should people come and see Hit Machine?
Because they'll laugh. Maybe they'll cry, and they'll be able to make their 9 p.m. dinner reservation.
That's right.
Anything to add, or that's it?
It's so fun.
It's a really good play. It's very moving. It's very funny. There's great music in it. I just think it's a great night in the theater. It'll be a great night in the theater.
It is. I hope to give people like a really lovely experience that they'll feel satisfied by.
So Hit Machine is at Soho Theatre from the 8th of July to the 15th of August, with tickets available now. Thank you so much for joining me, both of you. So break the leg with the show, and I can't wait to see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.